Hello, welcome back. We are going to carry on from where we left off. The score is 10-8 to Roberto. Hope you guys can hear me. I don't know whether we've got. If someone could let me know in the chat if you can hear me. And I'm going to just go through it like we did before and pause. Okay, just check everything's okay. So Hideaki has started roll a 4-2. 6-2 split is standard, then 3-4 will split. And this will just make the... Roberto has a 4-3. Okay, so it just makes the 11 point. Okay. Now Hideaki will make Roberto's bar. Okay, maybe this interesting. Let me just go back here. Let me just go back. So Hideaki has a 6-3 to play. One thing I noticed is the match score, and even a small deficit in a match can make a big difference to how you want to play. And I don't know whether Hideaki's 6-3 is right to make the 3-point, but he wants to try and get himself into a position that he can cube from. That's his objective, and perhaps he considers that making the 3-point is superior just to making Roberto's bar, making the 18-point. So when I saw the play, I thought that making the 18 is right because it locks up the defence anyway, and then you can still attack and make the 3-point afterwards. However, if you make the 3-point and then Roberto rolls something like a 4-2 or a double 2, then you lose your opportunity to attack since you're under attack yourself. What else is there to say about that? However, the 6-3, if you do make the bar, then you leave a shot. You're going to be leaving 6-2, double 4, and double 2. So perhaps you don't want to leave a shot. But those are all the considerations that come to my mind. And Hideaki will be looking closely to see when he can keep. So Roberto can make the bar and leave some shots. It's probably, to me, it looks like it's worth the risk. He's going to be leaving 6-1, 5-2, and 6-4. It's important, if I just pause it, even though it leaves shots, not making the bar, the alternative actually leaves a position in which you have less defence. So picking up on the theme from the 6-3 play, if it's correct, Hideaki is trying to get an attacking position, and conversely, Roberto is trying to obtain a defensive position. And then the question is, with the 4-1, what is the best way to get a defensive position? And I suggest that it's actually better to make the bar, to make an extra point, a landing point, and leave a shot, than to just play 13-8, which will make you more likely to leave blots later on down the line. So this is consistent, I think, with a a defensive game plan, making the 7 points. Again, if someone could just tell me whether you can hear me. I'm always a bit paranoid. 6-6 is an absolute whopper, or whatever the right terminology is. It will immediately make the ace point, and then on almost any return shot, if I'm Hideaki, I will know that on almost any number I'm going to at least be cubing, and probably Roberto is going to have to pass. It's the best number, I think, by a long way. And so it's like, you know, when you're playing this match, the point to make here, when you're playing, you see the roll, like even before you see the roll, you might have a sense of what your good rolls are. You might know that 6-6 is the best. It might just pop out to you. Certain bits of information become apparent when you're watching, and then you might have a sense that you are going to be winning a point after Roberto's return roll quite a lot of the time. Of course, if Roberto rolls like a 5-5, then he can probably prevent Hideaki from cubing, but other rolls like 2-3 is definitely a cube from just the first glance. Whether or not it's takeable, I don't know, but that's the thing that would be going on with me as Hideaki. I know that I'm 2-0 down in a 7-point match. To me, I wouldn't be thinking in his shoes about the take pass, because I don't need to expend energy on it. But the longer that Roberto takes, I might use a little bit of energy, but not too much, to try and see what I hope he's going to do. I noticed that I've got a race lead. I'm inclined to say that this is a pass. He does pass. I'm not sure, so let's see. I would have to count the race, but I'm trying not to count the race too much. I should count the race, but rather than just counting the race, trying to pick up on the features of the position other than the race. And of course, those are basically based on what dice rolls you're going to roll now and what dice rolls Roberto will roll in return. So 6-6 and 6-4 are very good. And apart from that, there aren't that many crushing rolls. 4-4 will probably make the 5 points. So as far as the first roll is concerned, there aren't a huge amount of absolute winners. However, even when you don't, let's say, point on the man on the 23, Roberto has got an inflexible position which might leave shots. He might not escape. Yeah, I mean, it's not immediately apparent what exactly is going on in the position, apart from that sixes and fours are going to hit loose and are pretty good. But if Roberto hits back on the 2 point after a loose hit, then perhaps he's okay. Just waiting for my arrows to... I think I would pass. I had the sense before the 6-6 that it was going to be a pass after most rolls. Perhaps that sense included the coming in with the 2. I can't remember what he wrote. My arrows are just... are just screwing up. Give me a sec. Captain's come in. The arrows have crashed, and I just have to wait until the application quits. I can't do anything. I can't click on the... Okay. Can only pray. Come on. Okay, finally. Alright, so I wanted to see what he rolled because I forgot what Roberto rolled. Oh, he must have rolled too far. Did he roll 2-3? Oh, he had a man on the 11. Okay, that shows you how terrible my memory was. Okay, so yeah, anyway, I agree with the pass. And, oh dear, can we move that? Because of the score and... 5-2, I like to split. Okay, not really much you can do with the 5-1. You could slot the bar, maybe. Again, Hideaki wants to cue earlier than Roberto. First of all, he's down in the match. That's still a factor. Secondly, he's 6 points away, and 2 points puts him at a score that he wants to be at, which is 4 away. So he's relatively happy for Roberto to take and let him win 2 points. And 4 points, a gammon on the 2 cube, gets him to 2 points from the match score, which is also a score that he'd like to be at. So, having said that, let's get back into it. 5-4 is obviously a great number. Obviously, pointing, making a decent point. 2-6. So with the 6, Hideaki could either come to his opponent's bar, he could come to his own bar, or he could do what he did, which was 8-2. 8-2 is reasonable, I suppose, because the 8 point is overloaded, but you don't really want a checker on the 2 points. Playing, let's risk using the arrows. Playing 13-7 takes a man off of a relatively strict point. And then, as far as whether you want the man on the 7 point, yeah, you kind of would like to make the bar, I suppose. I think that Hideaki is behind in the race, so therefore making the running play to the opponent's bar, to Roberto's bar, doesn't seem to make sense. However, the advantage of running to the opponent's bar is that he can make the bar, which he would like to do. I mean, it doesn't really matter what I would do. I don't know what I would do, but those are the considerations. It's often difficult to know how to play the 6 when the come-in 6 when you come in from the bar. So Roberto's definitely got an advantage. Going back to the score implications, which are important certainly, there's no need to even think about doubling, and because of the score, I would know that being 5 away against my opponent 6 away, I need to, firstly, 5 away is a score where your doubling point is slightly higher than normal because you're an odd number of points away from winning, and secondly, your opponent is quite happy to be cubed in this position and win 2 points, again to go to a score that is favourable to him, which would be 4 away from winning the match. So I know as Roberto before I roll here that I don't really need to think about cubing. However, now he rolls the 6-3, which is the second 6-3 that we had. I think when Hideaki rolled it, he only had 4 men on the 6 point. So this is maybe even better in terms of redistributing the checkers. Now Hideaki really wants to cover the 2 points since he's slotted it. Okay, and now Roberto has got I would stop and think as Roberto, he has got a decent position. However, could the score, the question is, could the score really, if this, firstly, is the position strong, really strong, fairly strong? The reason that this is deserved of thinking about being quite a strong position is because Hideaki has now got this blot on the 3 point. He's got a horrible 2 point. He's got no defence here. He hasn't made the bar. So if Roberto successfully executes some sort of blitz, he will be able to get out really easily. Also, just doubles like double 2, double 4, they all play. And the question of whether you should double it, even at a score where you're 5 away and where winning 2 points isn't that favourable, is obviously where you should definitely give it due consideration when you can win a gammon. So although the doubling point is slightly higher than, let's say, for money when there are no gammons involved, when you've got possibilities of winning a gammon, you should definitely not let yourself miss a cube. You can't let yourself pass up on the opportunity of doubling. And now here, if we just then consider like what some of the numbers will do, so even things like 4-1 will hit twice. Let's be systematic. Let's start with the doubles. So double 6 is enormous, of course. Double 5, double 4, double 3 will maybe hit on the deuce. Double 2 will point on the deuce point. Double 1 will make the 5 point and switch to the 2 point. So you've got 6 doubles. Don't discount them. 6 of the doubles all of them are extremely good. And win a lot of gammons. Then you've got things like 4-1, as I said. You've got 6-4 making the deuce point. You've got 3-1, which will make the 5 point and not fear being counter hit against the blot on the 3 point. And then you've got other numbers which aren't necessarily that bad, like 6-5. You could even hit twice. Play 8-2, 6-1. So after seeing that I've got like 12, 13 really pretty decent, very decent numbers, I don't think I can not cube here, even being 5 away, 6 away. So that's the doubling side, and then okay, so 4-2 is one of the bad numbers, but it still hits on the 2 points. No. Why would you do that? Yeah. still hitting, and then okay, so he's glad he didn't double after that sequence, but he wasn't to know that Roberto would roll a 5-4, and then a counter 5-4 would just make the 2 point. I don't think there's any reason to come for the anchor. But anyway, I think that was a cue. Roberto rolled his worst number, and he's still, Hideaki, well, not his worst, but one of his worst, and Hideaki rolled maybe his best, and he's still got 50%. You know, he's still even money. He's looking at running. If he's ahead, maybe it's right. Doesn't seem right to run though. I would just make the board. I mean, this just gives, when you leave anchors, it's usually bad because of the extra numbers that you give your opponent, like 3-2, 1-2, 3-1, double 1, double 3, all of which wouldn't be that good for Hideaki. So I don't think you need to do this. It doesn't gain that much, and even when you've gone with one, you need to get the other guy out as well. So yeah. Yeah, I don't see why you would do that. Okay, so 4-1, he gets away with it so far, and Hideaki will just make the 3 point. He'd like to hit, but he can't. Obviously, he doesn't want to but he doesn't want to let Roberto just run. So Roberto gets away with it twice. And now it's a holding game, of course. And Roberto will have a cube at some point, or might have a cube at some point, but not here. He will usually have to clear the 11, I mean, in order to have a cube. Having 2 points to clear in front. So even when he clears the mid, having both the 11 and the 8 to clear is not a good thing for Roberto. So I don't know if there is even one market losing number. Double 5. Okay, that puts an extra man on the 11. That's not really where you want the man, but okay. Hideaki just wants to make his board, but the problem is that if he made the 5 point, he would be leaving ones. I think I would probably have. We can go back to that. It's not such an important play, but I think the factors are easy to look at. Whether do you actually play 13-5 here, so that you make the board immediately. The question is, even if you do play 13-5, can you afford to leave the man that you've left there on the next roll? And the answer is possibly, because Roberto might not roll something that covers the 3 point. And as long as Roberto has a blot on the 3 point, the man isn't in much danger. So those are the factors which decide whether or not to leave the mid with both, or just leave one behind to act as a goalkeeper. But he chooses to go with 2. Now, if Roberto was up a lot in the race, he might do this, but he's going to do it. I don't see why you would even leave shots against, even with the blot. I don't think that that's necessary. I think the only reason, or one of the reasons you would choose to leave shots, is if you were able to cube after, and where the alternative play wouldn't allow you to cube after. So, in essence, what is the advantage of taking the risk of leaving the shot here? What does he gain? He doesn't want to be hit. Well, he clears the midpoint, but he's still got the 11 point to clear, so he risks a lot for not really much gain. So I don't know that the play's wrong. It just seems a bit. It doesn't seem like logically like it's worth it. And again, he didn't necessarily wasn't assured of getting that man safe, but he's luckily he has got that man safe. Hideaki will just make his board. This is just a standard position, and you know Roberto didn't want the extra checker on the 11 point, and he should be taking that checker really quickly off the 11 point so that he can prepare to clear it. He's up in the race from a little bit to a medium amount. I get very 83, 89, 95, 87 Hideaki, 24, 46, 24, 70, 82, 85, 89. So Hideaki's 2 pips up after the roll. But he might have to run, but... Okay, so it's looking after this. We know that it's 22, so it's going to be a double pass after quite a lot of Hideaki's rolls. But as I said before, the 5-away score is very relevant in a gallonless position. Black's take point is something like it's 18 and a bit percent, which is I think the lowest take point that you can have in backgammon. 18% is much lower than, let's say, the 22 or 21, 22% that you have in gamblerless positions for money. There is that strange position, I think it's with 2 checkers on the 6 point, where the take point is 18.75%, but this is actually lower. So anyway, just to get practically, if Black can roll like maybe 10 or 11 pips, he might still be able to take, because his take point's really low. He can afford to try and risk losing 2 points for the gain of winning 2 points, which puts him at a good score. It puts him 4 away. So his take point is low. So that might 22 for 13. Could that be enough? Probably not, but you know, if it's 13 pips on something like 60, it looks like it's not going to be enough. So Hideaki's got a wastage as well. He's got 4 crossovers. You know, I see that always fools me. It looks like Hideaki's going to take when he puts it there, but he passes immediately. So the score goes to 4 away, 6 away. I got my first like, and this is an interesting score because Roberto wants to win 4 points, but because he's ahead, he doesn't want to scupper his advantage. Are they going to have a break? No, okay. I find this score really difficult to understand, so 4-1. Double 5 will just make both points. And not the best because it leaves a 6 from the bar, and also when the guy anchors you're not happy, but what can you do? It's worth taking that risk. 4-2 is obvious. And now, because, you know, let's just pause this, because Roberto's got this anchor, Hideaki's not really going to be able to cube for a while. Conversely, because Roberto's got the anchor, he might well be able to cube if he rolls. He rolled a 3-1. If he makes the 5, he's going to make the 5 point. If he makes the 4 point and extends his prime, the fact that he's got an anchor, even though he's sort of blocked in a little bit at the back there on the 23, he's possibly more likely to get himself into a cubable position than Hideaki. And Hideaki's going to have to do a lot more. He's going to have to escape his checkers fully in order to have a sort of a holding game cube. That's the advantage of having anchors. Anchors are fantastic. That can hit, but I guess you're just going to make the 7 point and be consistent with what this sort of game plan that I was alluding to, which is keeping the anchor, making the block, and then having a sort of a hybrid prime blitz game where you've got your prime and you can hit loose in front of the prime. You've got all your checkers where you want. That's a reasonably good roll because Hideaki can escape one of the checkers which is about to get primed, and I would have stopped. I'm not saying this is a cube, but I would have stopped and just had a little look at the position. But I don't think this is anywhere near a cube because Hideaki's still got a 4 point board, and what our 4s are duplicated. What's our best number? Double 5 might be a market loser, double 6, but apart from that, I don't think it takes too long to realise that we haven't got enough to cube. But okay, so maybe he sees that more quickly, and 5-2, like, there are some bad numbers and this is like one of them. And I don't know how to play this, whether or not you hit on the ace because there are 3 blocks lying about, or this just gives away. I mean, this gives away the initiative, or concretely. So if you when he plays the 2 down, so 2, 6, and 3, 5 are going to make the 16 point. All 2s are going to hit the block on the 11 point. This is what it looks like after the 5-2. And then if you don't do either of those things, then something like a 5-2 will make the 11 point here and get that checker safe. So I guess that hitting on the ace was just because you didn't want to do this, not because you want to hit on the ace, but because it was better than the alternative. But I don't know, what would any of you guys, if you're brave enough to say anything in the chat, then tell me what you would. So here 3-5 is going to make the 16 immediately, and now Hideaki's getting closer to that position which he will be able to cube from, which is when he's got all his checkers kind of round here, sort of here, and he's going to have to make a lot of progress to be able to cube when Roberto's got this 23 point anchor, which has a lot of residual, I don't know what the word is, equity or game winning chances. And now Roberto is just... Okay, so Hideaki stops here to consider. I have seen a couple of Hideaki's games. I think sometimes he cubes a little bit early, but I might be wrong. This might be a cube. But I don't see, even if you make the 10 point, let's say, would Roberto be passing afterwards? I don't think so. So he does make the 10 point. So the problem with Roberto's position, if I'm playing Roberto, is that I'm starting to think that, I've got a little bit of play here on this side, but at some point or another, my timing is gonna want me to sort of move these back checkers, and I'm not going to be able to move those back checkers unless I roll something like a double 3. I don't want to just split. If I split those back checkers, then I destroy my defense, and Hideaki will be able to cube me immediately. So as Roberto, this is like one of my concerns, that my timing is a bit suspect. So interesting, Hideaki didn't stop there, so now, of course, he will make the 10 point. You've got to take the risk, because that's an excellent landing spot. And then, I don't know, I mean, going from what my feeling was before, okay, he makes the 2. I might have slotted the 4 and the 2 there, but maybe he's right to try and dissuade Hideaki from leaving shots here. I mean, he does cube. I mean, what's really going on? Let's just see what's really going on here. If Black can just bring his checkers in safely, then Black wins the game. So, but how likely is it that Black is going to be able to bring his checkers in safely? And, or more accurately, is can Black still make an improvement to his position, and then still expect his opponent to be able to take? And if that's the case, then he shouldn't cube now, because he doesn't have a or enough market losing sequences. And if we look at what improvements might prevent Roberto from taking next go, then we can see things like well, double 6 would probably be a market loser, I think. Double 4 would be maybe the best number. But other than that, the gap on the 5 point seems to suggest to me that there aren't enough, that even you can still make an improvement as Black and still expect your opponent to take the cube next go. Now, I haven't talked much about the match score implications. If Roberto takes and he recubes, then he wins the match. But he obviously gives Hideaki a free recube. So what's the point I'm trying to make? You still want to protect your 2-point lead if you can, for as long as possible, and you don't just want to give it up, even though you can just win the match on a 4 cube. And anyway, of course, Roberto's not going to pass that. We know that he never passes, and we know that there's no reason to pass here. I don't think he was ever thinking about passing here. 'But I could be way off on this cube action. It might well be a very strong double, and it might have been a double the go before. Who knows? But with Roberto's board and the timing being okay, it looks like he can just. Double 5 is a really good number, but still you can take off the double 5. And actually, the downside of double 5 is that it pushes Black's game further on and gives White better relative timing. So White's timing relative to Black improves. Yeah, so 6-4, he will slot both points in preparation for making them. Nothing to think about, really. So would this be a pass? I doubt it. And now this is like the thing with Roberto 6-1. Is there any reason to leave a shot here? Is there any reason you've cubed already? So the idea of either preserving a cube by not getting hit, or making the risky play, which is the only play that will, after which you will be able to cube, doesn't apply. But what does apply is that you won't be able to win the game by turning the cube. Hi. Hello, Emad. Hi, hi, Barak. Is it a take? Yeah, I thought it was an easy take. What do you guys think? So the fact that Black can't win the game by a cube turn means that he has to maybe play a little bit more in such a way that he wins the game with his checker plays rather than hoping to roll a lucky number. And that's often a concept that applies. So yeah, it looks like with 2 blocks, it looks like, well, obviously he should just leave the shot. But even then, you don't really want to get hit. If I now roll a 5-3 or a 5-6, I would take as well. If I roll a 5-6, I'm delighted. But he rolls the 6-1, so he can just play 5-4 here. This, however, might be a pass. I mean, being 6 away, 4 away. Again, I'm not good on what the take points are. It's a confusing score for me. Now, if he doesn't leave the shot, then it's going to be a little bit awkward for him. It's things like some 5s and 4s are going to be awkward. I would leave the shot. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I agree, Ahmed. But the question is, does the score make a difference? The fact that Roberto sort of wants to preserve his lead, doesn't mind giving Hideaki a point, putting him at 5 away. However, putting him at 4 away makes him 50, makes them both even money. And again, this is the same kind of thing. He doesn't really want to play 10-8, 4-3. That gives awkward numbers. I don't know if I would leave a shot though against the closed board. Oh my god. Can you imagine what that feels like? Not being sure about whether you should leave the shot, and then the guy rolls it. And I gotta say, in fairness to Roberto, done this match from the start. He hasn't played that well. A lot of his plays haven't made that much sense, and he's sort of got lucky where he needed to. And it's probably a recube because you can't afford to roll some bad numbers. Okay, no, maybe not. Maybe because of the 3 checkers out there, you win quite a few gammons. So this is not particularly interesting. I would just kind of fast forward. Nothing really going on here. Is he thinking about the 2? If he is, then it's probably okay to take it off and just play on and risk the 6-6, the boxes and the double 5, because the gammon is now obviously enormous. Here you probably clear the 4 points. The gap on the 5 was the gap on the 5 made me think that Hideaki didn't need to cube when he did. I'm a fan. I mean, look, there's some gammon. There's some. I mean, let's be honest. We know that this is not a gammon because there's a lot. There's about half an hour left in the video. If I have time, I think the match file is here. I will pull it up on XG. But Is this a G? Is this going to be a G? What? And then the rest of the video is... No. I see. Wow. I mean, you'd be sick to lose... Just to lose like that. Roberto didn't, you know, it's sort of an unlucky 17-1 shot, and to get gammon for the match in this high roll at the qualifier, you don't really want to enter without, because you can't afford to enter the whole thing, so you want to play the qualifier. And anyway, so 13-9, that's Roberto is 2 away, Hideaki is 6 away. Which I think is 80-20, something like that. So come up with the 3, I suppose, to try and make an advanced anchor. Since you're up in the match, you want to play conservatively. Conversely, Hideaki wants to obtain. Oh, what a horrible roll for Hideaki, and a great roll for Roberto. Conversely, Hideaki wants to prevent Roberto from obtaining an advanced anchor even more than he would do at an even score, and can afford to take risks. So I would also hit with this ace deuce, but not if I knew that he was going to roll a 4-6. It's like just where you want to be as black. Never going to double. Not enough single game winning chances yet to double. Too many gammons that make it sort of contain a too good to double element in them, and not enough single game winning chances. But of course you are going to have, in some of these games, you do get to positions that you can cube from. Mainly because when Hideaki recubes, if there are no gammons in the position, he only gets to a 50-50 position. That's to say that he gets to 13-13, which is assuming even playing strength, which is even money for both of them. And if he passes, then Roberto becomes 1 away, and Hideaki 1 away, 6 away, which would be 11%. So I think the take point is 100 over 50 times 11, which is 22%. So therefore, if Roberto's got a position where he's got about 80%, he should actually be cubing. And since Hideaki won't have 22%, he should be passing. But here, this is not one of those position types. This is a position which is very double-edged and has lots of gammons in, especially now that Hideaki's made the 22 point. And this is a bad roll. You can make the 4 point, I think. That's pretty much all you can do. This is a bad roll because all you wanted to do was to roll a 5 or a 1 or a 4 something to make the 8 point. You can't do either of those, and you have to leave shots, and you have to leave the man on the 18. So I think making the 4 point is the only play. I guess that Roberto is going to play it. I mean, you can play 3 down to the 10 point and then play 18-15, but then you still leave 5s and 4s. I don't understand why this is a necessary 3. What? I mean, yeah, maybe I'm completely off base here, and that you are meant to be playing safe. But I would just make the 4 point, improve your position. I mean, this okay. But anyway, it shows a sort of a clean-up play. And this is exactly the type of position that Roberto shouldn't cube, one where he's got high gammon percentage, but doesn't win that many single games. Okay, yeah, it seems okay to make 10 points. And so now that Hideaki's made those two anchors, Roberto's probably not going to have a cube ever, almost. Okay, that's a really bad roll because now he has to leave the anchor, but still Hideaki's got like maybe 30%, I don't know. He's got all his checkers are in play. I find the hardest thing in backgammon is to assess single game winning chances. But yeah, even after this bad double 5, I think Hideaki's got quite high game winning chances, so I don't think Roberto should cube. I think Roberto's double 5 is probably not as bad as Hideaki's. I'm not sure. Just a little 3-2 for the fans. I mean, like, so many rolls for leaving the shot there. Okay, so it was 4s. Hideaki deserves something. He does hit. He got like 25 hits, something like that. And you know, so a position like this, Hideaki's got a lot of work to do, and a 2 cube just wins the match for Roberto. So Roberto's take point isn't that high when Hideaki doesn't win that many gammons. So therefore, it doesn't really make sense for Hideaki to cube in that position. With the 1 and the 2 point open, consider that, you know, you come in 20 times every time. Hideaki's not threatening to make the 2 or the 1 point. Plus Roberto's got a 5 point board. And a play like this is difficult, so you want to maximise your chances of making the bar, but you also want to try not to give too many shots that are going to gammon you for the match. So probably just 12 to 9 and then 17 to 15 is like the obvious play. Okay, this is probably better. Yeah. So this covers the outfield, leaves some shots but not that many. And he doesn't want to step into a triple shot, but sometimes it's right just to, this might not be that many more shots to come to the 15 point. Would he have been... Oh, what happened there? Would he have been missed? So does he want to slot the bar? I don't know. Sometimes I can't stop myself making plays. So the question is, if after fan, is this going to be a cue? I don't think so. So is it really that necessary to slot there? Because you're not increasing your equity by cubing. And again, so this is like just to show how far away he was from a cube. I mean, he doesn't really have anything. Even after he hits loose with a 5 or a 2, he's got to come out. If he comes out with 1, yeah, this is exactly what he wants. Comes out with 1 and then hits. He's of course going to come out, and then a fan, then he will cube, and then it's probably a take. I mean, can we work out the take points? If Roberto passes, then he goes 2-way, 5-way, which is 75%. And then if he takes, he wins the match. It's 25. He gains 25. And if he takes and loses, then he goes to something like 67%. So he loses. He risks 8 to gain 25. So I believe his take point is 8 over 33, which is about. It's just a tad under 25%, which, I mean, I tend to take these way too much, but like, we've only got 50 covers, double 5, nothing else covers, double 6 doesn't cover. We've got a bad, if we don't cover and we come in, we've got a bad 1-5. I get these wrong a lot, but I think that I would probably take this 25. Maybe we don't. He's still got to come out. I mean, he's still got to roll a 6. You know, he probably rolls the 6. He's got time to roll the 6. He probably rolls the 6 like 70% of the time. And then if he rolls the 6 immediately, we can just come in with the 1. It's interesting. Passes that. What would you guys? Ahmad? What would you have done? I think I would have taken. I will be back in a second. Yeah, I think I would have taken. I don't know who wins this, so this is exciting. 2-way, 5-way, which is 75-25, something like that. Excuse me for the noise. Okay, it does slow. I'm not sure. Five one, obvious for sitting back. Nothing to say really. I could have said something about the 5-2, but I just have to have a little bit of sustenance. 5-1, he can't come out, he wants to come out. 5-2 will hit twice. Of course, well worth the risk of dismantling the 10 point to do it. And again, Roberto doesn't want to double until way later, when if and when his winning chances, single game winning chances, get to around 76-77%. There's the 5-3, but it's not as good as the other 5-3. Oh, it's for Roberto. Okay. 6-5. 5 is just going to make the 18 and not hit, of course. It's obvious. Yep, 3-2. So if Hideaki can just sort of manage to clear his 18, which he hasn't done now, he's going to be possibly in a position that you can double from. T6 had to come out because it gave Roberto some extra play. So do you come out or do you not come out? I'm massive weakness in my game. I think you come out here because you don't have enough time to maintain the 20 point. I mean, so let's say you play 16-6, this loose checker in. Hideaki's got so many spares to play with. Okay, so I would have come out. Let's see what happens. So now Roberto's going to like be forced to maybe break his 8 point. You know, I rolled double 5. Okay, so he would have. I just realised that my arrows aren't even working. Leave the 7. What do you mean? What do you mean, blood? Leave the 7. Leave the 7 points. Yeah, leave the 7, exactly. That's what I would have done. I would have come out, but you know, I'm really far from sure. Give me a sec while I just get my arrows working. All this time I thought they were working and they weren't. And then, yeah, and then he just rolls a double 5, which is solves the problem for me anyway. I mean, he would have been good after either play. And now he's a favourite, but you can't cube. He doesn't want to leave any shots here. No reason to leave any shots. Oops. Yeah, in a pretty standard game, Roberto's going to have to clear something. Here he probably plays 6-5, 4-1, I don't know. Yep. Now the arrows should be working. Six-2 is a good roll, he can clear the 10 point. He's up in the race, I think. I think he's up in the race, but even if he isn't, I think he needs to yeah, clear it, because Hideaki's got a spare, you know. I wouldn't have done that. Now you're leaving some shots. That leaves, do you want to leave the 1, or do you want to give, now 1-6 wouldn't leave a shot. 1-6 and 2-6 would have left extra numbers. No. Well, 1-6 now hits, so I think it's just the wrong play. Oh, think this is the wrong play because of the 1-6. Why is that like that? We don't want that. And now this is just a routine. This is just a routine. Bring it home. It allows me to get a drink of water because this is thirsty work. Imad, you've got this from here, so just no G. Okay. Oh, he rolled some bad numbers he had to miss. But it looks like he was going to win a gammon, right? Gammon is not that amazing. You're just happy to go to 4 away, 2 away. So this is the score that everyone loves. Amazing how big, let me just stop. Some of the passes can be at this score, like 0.8. Huge, can be huge passes, and obviously how little of an advantage, of an advantage you need to cube. But the first thing is the key thing, I mean, just how big the passes can be, of course, because the gammon wins the match. They can be just astronomical. But when there are no gammons involved, then the trader's take point isn't that high. In fact, it's quite low, I think. It's only the gammons that make the difference. So 5-1, 5-3 makes the point. And this just, Roberto is really getting what he wants. Hideaki will make the 21 and the 10. This is pretty obvious. Yeah. You can do two good things. You don't need to come to the bar. Probably not up in the race anyway. Roberto will make the 3 points. Lovely jubbly. Double 4 is okay. I would just make the 9 and then probably play 62, but you could make the 9 and leave a shot if you wanted. Yeah, I don't think you would want to slot the bar here with that 6-5. This is awkward. So maybe you just play 6-2 and you leave a shot on the bar, play 9-7. I think nothing else seems to look right. That's just from a look. And the fact is that no. What? Really? What? Hold on. Can that be right? Can someone tell me what they would play with that 4-2? I mean, clearing blocking points is never good. Now, 5-5 and 6-5 are just going to run at some point without any. Whereas before, neither of them could run, and you lose that block forever. So it's not just this roll that 5-5 can run; it's all the other times that 5-5 can run. And then 6-5, I suppose, is not a major consideration, but I think you have to think long and hard before clearing before clearing points. But I'm not sure. Okay, yep. Make bar. So Roberto's got his advanced anchor, which is exactly what he wanted. And now I'm not sure whether you make the 5 point here or make the 9. If you make the 9, you might have to you leave yourself with a slightly inflexible position. So I think it's better. You can't do that. That's illegal. That is illegal. Yeah, so you just make the 5 and make the 11, I think. That's, even though you can't make the 2, it's probably still the right play. I'm not sure. But the most important thing is that there's really no pressure on Roberto because of how he managed to roll the 4-3 and make the 20 points. So even if he gets some of these plays wrong, he's not going to get cubed very much. Okay, yeah. So I would have done this: made the 11 and made the 5. Could clear the 8 here, but maybe 9 to 7 thrices. Double 1. Okay. Then I suppose it's superior to block 6s than 5. Why not? Why would you not continue to block 6s if you can? You'd rather block 6s than 5s. And these are the plays that I really struggle with as well, coming off anchors. So I don't think you want to come off the anchor here. I think it's much better to you know, maybe you'll get forced off, or maybe you'll have to leave a shot on the 7 point, but that's superior to having 2 blocks and not having any defense at all. So I would have made his play. But yeah, I mean, you're not in a nice position here. The fact that you keep the anchor means that you're getting into a position that a human is uncomfortable with. It's like you're not going to be able to maintain purity in the position. You're going to have to maybe leave a shot on 7 point, or this, where you've just got some like semi-wastage of your checkers, which isn't nice. So Roberto's definitely a favourite. He's got the superior timing. And again, this, you really, you kind of want to go, but you can't afford to go and leave 5s and 1s. So you just have to allow the opponent's position to improve. And here with the 6-5, perhaps it's better to play all the way to the 9 point so that you don't leave 4-6 and 5-6. What you do leave is some. If you come to the 9 point, then Hideaki will hit probably with 1-4, 1-3. He might hit as well. Play 6-5, 4-1. But again, I don't think this is a big deal. He's just got a nice roll. He's in good shape. Generally, there's not much pressure on him. He's a little bit out with both. Imad says, why? Because of double 1? Double 1 is the thing you're afraid of. I should have noticed that to start with. I don't mind either out with both, or out with both covers the outfield, I guess. Yeah. So I think out with both was right. And now take point is what, like 18%, and he's got way more than that here. So I think you just try and gammon him. Question is, do you hit twice? Yes, I think you do. If you get hit back with a 4, then is he recubing? Is he cubing? So 4-1 is a different matter. I mean, after a 4 and a fan, but of course Roberto doesn't fan, just comes in like it's nothing. Now, okay, before the 3, without the anchor, Hideaki's winning chances were pretty low, but now he's got the anchor. He's okay. Yeah, this is again awkward, but you can't come out and leave the anchor. And now Roberto's closing in on that kind of 80% game-winning chances where he can start to think about cubing, even though the recube is... He doesn't have it here, for sure, but he can think about it. There's no crime in thinking. 6-3 isn't quite the right number. Okay, so wait. This is a crucial play. I didn't see the hit. He just hits. It's nothing, but it's. I guess that the fact that he does it quickly means it's right. So what's going on? 27. Let's count. 27, 14, 41, 53, 68, 74, 80, 71 after the roll for white. 21, 34, 40, 48, 12, 60, 68, 70. So we're 1 pip down after the roll, but black's got a lot of wastage. And then there's a score to consider. I don't know. I guess that because Hideaki's only got a 4-point board, then he can't cube when Roberto hits, because he just doesn't have enough. But that doesn't necessarily make it the right play. I'm not sure what I would do here. Maybe hitting is obvious. I mean, what would you guys do? So it leaves 1, 3 and 1, 6 extra, so it's 15 shots. But anything that isn't the 1, 3, the 1, 6 or the 4 is bad. So 21 to 15 is the ratio. But the 4 is very bad, of course, even with just a 4-point board. It just comes in, of course. Now is it a cube? It's not. Now is it a cube for Roberto? So he must be converging in on his 80% winning single game winning chances with 5s and 1s to cover. Luckily he didn't cube. I mean, I should really. What's going on? I think it's probably a no double. But so how many covers has he got? He's got 20, 5s and 1s, plus 3, 2 is 22, plus double 4 covers 23. So 23 covers is not going to be enough. Then we've got things like 3, 2 is going to make the ace point, but if you don't cover, yeah, you're in trouble. If you don't cover, you're in trouble. So I wouldn't double, but I just wanted to have a look at that. Plus, of course, you win gammons. Was it too good? What was too good? No, of course not. Come on. Was it too good? Not too good, but there are elements there are elements within the position that make you not want to double, because you do win some gammons, but it's not strictly too good. It's most of it is not good enough. When you don't cover with the 23 numbers, you're in trouble. But hold on. But now he's got this position here. He's got this position here. Whoa, let's go back. So assume that this is white is on roll, because Hideaki actually fans here. And we've got 6s and 5s and 1s to cover. And if we don't cover, we're not happy. So there can be good reason to cube. If you're not going to cover with 1 or 2 or 3 numbers, then you want to lock out the game now. So there are 27 covers immediately with the 6, 5s and 1s. 3 numbers is 27 covers. Plus you've got double 2, 28, double 3, 29, 4, 2, 31. I mean, what doesn't cover? Double 4 doesn't cover. And 4, 3 doesn't cover. So maybe there are only 3 numbers that don't cover. But if you roll one of them, you know, if you roll 4, 3, then you make the ace point. If you roll double 4, you have to leave a shot. So I don't understand why Roberto wouldn't cube. He's not winning enough gammons to just play on. And it would be a pass, for sure. Here we go, this. I mean, you know, you're going to be up against a 5-point board. Even if he comes in with a 1, I don't think this is enough to close to 18.5, whatever it is. So this is definitely a miscue. Probably not such a big error because almost everything covers. And now, is he going to go double? No, now he plays on, which is probably right. This is, you know, slightly imprecise play by Roberto. Again, I think he's tired. He looks tired. So that could be right. Of course, he's always winning a point here because he's always got the cube out if things go wrong. But his gammon, even after that fan, you know, he just doesn't win that many gammons, having 7 checkers rather than 6. I don't know what the right 5-4 is here. Even now, Hideaki's got. Okay. So what can he give himself? He can give himself almost everything but 2-1, and I thought he had one more to play. Okay, so I missaw the position. So he must save it here with a double 3. He rolls a double 5. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. So yeah, again, not really. Could be a little bit more precise, Roberto, with. They're going to have a break, so let's. Young good to see good time in Jamaica. I love the. Amazing that it can just pick up on the subtitles. Emma, was it too good? Come on. This is why you need lessons. Excellent value. Okay, let's but I think the rest of your calls have been absolutely right, actually, so very impressive. Let's go back to what So this is the Crawford game. And we can see that Hideaki's got just really unlucky. We can see that. And he wants to gammon him here. I think I just played 13-8, but I don't know what you do here. No, I wouldn't hit even at this. I wouldn't hit even though you want to gammon him. I don't think. I don't know that that's wrong, but I just wouldn't do it. And the 6 down from the mid is okay, but you're kind of almost stripping the mid now. You've only got 3 checkers on the mid. Roberto's got to be very happy now, leading 14-11, and he's kind of close. He's close to home. I've got 6-2. Double 1 is a good shot. Five 2 gets the hell out of there. And there's a crowd, you know, building. Toby's there. I think David Wells. So here Roberto can definitely play 8-1, preserving the spare. Do you want us to preserve the spare on the midpoint? I'm not sure. Maybe you do. 4-2 is a great roll. Yeah, just make the 4 points. So now his chances of getting home safe have gone up enormously. Just plays. It's, you know, it's not good, but it plays to the ace point, and now, you know, his chances of playing safe have diminished. But he still has some rolls that play safe. This isn't one of them. Oh, it is. Yes, so he can break the 8 point. Why not? Is he going to get away with it? Oops. He's going to have to come all the way around there. It's a bit of a mixed blessing, so this obviously makes it easier for Roberto. The race is close, but I think Roberto's got a race lead after this double 6. After the double 5, of course. This is just a race, so we can, I think, we can just scoot it along. I mean, it looks to me Roberto's still going to win this because there's not a lot of the video left. So it's a bit of a spoiler. But he's like only got like maybe 30%, so he's certainly rolled something quite big. Yeah, just bring them both in. Oh, maybe he's got more than 30. And this is going to be the match done, really. Hideaki's still a favourite. I mean, he's got 6 checkers off. but Roberto's just going to diddle him here. I'm not sure about that 3. Yeah, Hideaki must be a big favourite now. 7 checkers, 8 checkers off. So there's the double 4, that hurts. But he still needs something. Okay, so not missing still, but even though he's got an odd, Roberto's got an odd number of checkers. And before this double 1, I think Hideaki was like maybe 40%, not a favourite, but he was, you know, he'd be quite confident that he could do something. And then 6-3 is a good number because it's not a 1, so although Roberto's not going to miss twice. He's just outrolled Hideaki. And that was it. So what a great match to, a nice match to commentate on. Maybe I'll do more of these at some point. Took almost 3 hours. Yeah, it was a long match.
Yeah, we both ended up, we ran out of time. Yeah, that time in the middle. Yeah. One of those games we use it all.
I don't think the captions come up on OBS. So what's coming up on my screen is a transcript of their chat, which is, oh no, it is. I think at the end, Neil Kazaros ended up winning this high roller. I can't remember. But interesting to see what they've got to say.
Yeah, well, that's what I was really scared about. I was like, okay, 2 times.
That Hideaki's taking it really well. He's a really nice, gracious guy.
I got good rolls to get there.
I met him in Japan
2 doubles when I was there at all.
a year and a bit ago.
And I thought that.
So that's basically it from me, and thank you guys for watching. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you shortly at some point. Bye.